This is the Louie Tee Network.
Man, I love some football. Man, I love some football. My favorite week is week 1, cause I'm watching football. First comes the preseason, and I don't take a day off. And then it gets even better when your team makes the playoffs. 32 teams go hard for one thing. They work for one thing. That Super Bowl ring. 32 teams go hard for one thing. They work for one thing. That Super Bowl ring. We in the lab room.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie Tee? Welcome, you are in the lab room. I'm your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me. It's Wednesday, and it's the Wednesday edition of In the Lab Room. A lot to get to today. Let's jump right into the proceedings this evening. First thing up on the docket today is the sole survivor of week number 3. Right now, I've given you 2 winners in 2 consecutive weeks. Week 1, gave you the Detroit Lions. They got it done. Week 2, I gave you the Green Bay Packers. Wasn't always pretty. Wasn't the easiest of victories as I thought it was going to be. But nonetheless, it's a W any way you slice it. So let's get into the picks for week number 3 in the National Football League and give you the sole survivor for week number 3. So let's jump into the games. We start with Thursday Night Football. Tampa Bay at Atlanta. You know how I feel about family business. Look, I stay away from it. Even though Tampa Bay is extremely suspect and Gerald McCoy may not be able to play, I could easily see how you would want to say, hey, give me Atlanta at home to take care of business. It's family business. Leave it alone, unless it's your family business. I know it's not mine. I'm not sticking my nose where it doesn't belong. I'm moving on to the next game. San Diego at Buffalo. Okay, San Diego coming off the high of beating the Seattle Seahawks at home. Buffalo 2-0. Maybe one of those surprise teams right now. Who's to say? Look, all I know is Buffalo looked damn good at home last week. They're 2-0. San Diego looked damn good last week. They're 1-1. This is a scary game. You don't know who's going to come out on top. There are better options than this one, so why try and be a magician and try to pull a rabbit out of your hat? Move on to the next game. Tennessee at Cincinnati. Now, the Tennessee Titans laid an egg last week against Dallas. Meanwhile, the Cincinnati Bengals just keep on trucking along. They got a win at home versus Atlanta. Look, Tennessee could rise up to the occasion like they did in week 1 on the road and surprise us, or they could lay an egg. You don't know what they're going to do. Cincinnati has been the model of consistency, especially at home. But again, I'm not touching this game with a 10-foot pole because I don't have to. There's a better option, so I'm moving on. Baltimore at Cleveland. Look, it's family business. Straight up. I mean, I could go into reasons why you shouldn't do this. Have you not learned to leave Cleveland alone yet? I mean, seriously. No. You move on to the next game. Green Bay at Detroit. More family business. And again, if these 2 teams say they ain't did it, then they ain't did it. But if they did, well, that's family business. So, hey, that's an A and B conversation. I will see these 2 teams later. You move on to the next game. Dallas at St. Louis. Now, you ask yourself, hey, Cowboys looked pretty good last week. Rams haven't been impressive in either one of their 2 games, even though they won last week. Why not pick Dallas here? Because they're on the road. What did I tell you about road teams? I warned you last week to stay away from New Orleans. I hope you guys took my advice and you took heed of what I was saying. Stay away from road teams. they're not a good look. In this league, you stay away from divisional games because you don't know what's going to happen. Those two teams know each other very well when they play within a division, and you stay away from road teams because road teams have an uphill climb to win games. That's a tough battle you're fighting. When you're on the road, you might as well say that's worth at least 3 points, maybe even 7 depending on the opponent. You go to Seattle, that's worth about 10 points. You go to New Orleans, you go to Arizona, that's worth about 7 points. And just about everywhere else in the league, it's worth about 3 points. Stay away from road teams. It's not a good look. And Dallas on the road versus St. Louis is not a good look. You move on to the next game. Oakland at New England. Ding, 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 ding. This is your sole survivor for week number 3 right here. You don't need to go any further than this. Did the Oakland Raiders not look like one of the worst teams in the league last week? New England got back on track. It's the Patriots home opener, people. They don't lose home openers. When did the Patriots do that? In the Brady and Belichick era, when did they do that? They don't lose home openers, and they don't lose home games to the Oakland Raiders. They just don't. You know Bill Belichick is licking his chops when he looks across the field and sees a rookie quarterback, the 4 card, Derek Carr, starting for the Oakland Raiders. He's going to have so many different schemes and so many different blitzes that this kid's never seen before. It's going to make his head spin. Expect the New England Patriots to pick up where they left off last week, dominating the Minnesota Vikings by going home and having a fiesta. Fiesta, fiesta, fiesta. Fiesta, fiesta, fiesta. Hey, turnovers for everybody. Hey, you get one, you get one. Hey, here's one for you. Everybody's going to have a party in New England. Party, party, party for everybody because they're playing the Oakland Raiders. Look, this is your opportunity to use your New England Patriots get out of jail free card. Hey, don't you miss the opportunity to use it. Hey, limited time offer. Better use it while supplies last. Take the New England Patriots to get it done in week 3 versus the Oakland Raiders. But just in case you don't believe me, let's run down the rest of the slate of games so that you know that that's the best option in week number 3. So the next game up on the docket, Minnesota Vikings at New Orleans. Look, if you want to go here, then go there. I will sign off. I will put my John Hancock all over that one. If you want to pick the New Orleans Saints to go home and get it done and rectify some things, get their house in order against the Vikings, by all means, knock yourself out. I won't have any objections to that. Just know that I don't trust 0-2 football teams, even though I'm pretty confident the New Orleans Saints are going home and winning this game. No Adrian Peterson for the 2nd consecutive week. You got Matt Castle starting at quarterback, and the Saints are in their home opener. It's a perfect storm for the Saints to clobber these guys. I don't have a problem with you picking this game if you want to. Just know that the Patriots over the Raiders is a slam dunk, no doubt. Okay? So, with that being said, either one of those options, you're fine by me. I would just prefer if you would go with New England because that one is no doubt about. This one, hey, the Saints have left you with reasonable doubt. I just say be careful, but if you want to go, have my blessing. You move on to the next game. Houston Texans at the New York Football Giants. As bad as the Giants have looked, they're at home. And as good as the Texans have looked, they played Washington and Oakland in their respective wins. Relax, people. Don't be so hasty to make a decision that could impact your pool negatively. Okay? It's a survivor pool. Don't put your pool in jeopardy staking a claim to the Houston Texans. I would not do that if I were you. Now, I know the Giants haven't looked good at all. Still, leave this game alone. At some point, the Giants are going to jump up and bite somebody. Don't let it be you trying to be fast, picking the Giants to go down at home. You move on to the next matchup. Indy at Jacksonville. This is a double whammy. No whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Stop. Don't do it. Leave this game alone for two reasons. Not only is this game family business, but the Indianapolis Colts are on the road. And yes, Jacksonville looked terrible last week. However, it's family business. You can throw records and all of that extra stuff out of the window. These two teams know each other. And just in case you forgot, Indy is struggling themselves. They're 0-2, just like Jacksonville. They're looking to get off the schneid. Leave this game alone. You move on. Washington at Philly. Family business. Family business. Family business. You move on to the next game. San Francisco at Arizona. Family business. Family business. Family business. Again, even though Carson Palmer isn't playing, and you're probably going to have to take some more Drew Stanton, which worries me, it doesn't matter. It's family business. Keep on going. So you find yourself talking about Kansas City at Miami. Two teams in search of victories. Dolphins coming off of a tough loss on the road versus Buffalo. Kansas City still searching for their first win of the season after just falling short against Denver last week. Two teams coming off of divisional losses. Leave this game alone. You don't know who the Dolphins are. We think we know who the Kansas City Chiefs are, but we're not sure. Translation, leave this game at the door. You move on to the next matchup. Denver at Seattle. Super Bowl rematch. Absolutely not. You go on to the next game. Sunday Night Football. Steelers at the Panthers. The Steelers left a bad taste in my mouth. I'm pretty sure you had the same taste. Tastes like a blowout in your mouth as well. I stay pretty much clear of anything the Steelers are doing right now. Are they the team that scored 30 points against the Browns? Or are they the team that only was able to muster 6 against the Ravens? You don't know, do you? Just remember this. Since the first half of that Cleveland game, the Steelers have scored a whole 9 points. A whopping 9 points against a team that's extremely stingy, or, as I like to say, frugal, in the Carolina Panthers. This doesn't make any sense. Leave this game alone. This could be the game Ben Roethlisberger decides to go out and drop 35 on somebody's head. You know, the Panthers don't give it up, but this could be one of those games where just everything goes wrong for the Panthers, everything goes right for the Steelers. You don't know, so you don't go. Move on to Monday night. And finally, Chicago Bears and Chicago Bears. The Bears. Traveling to New Jersey to take on the New York Jets. J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets. Now, the Jets have looked pretty good. Even in defeat last week against Green Bay, I was pleasantly surprised with the Jets. Bears coming off of an improbable victory versus the San Francisco 49ers. This is absolutely not a good idea. You got a really good offense when healthy, and they've got some banged up players in Chicago, but nonetheless, they put up 28 and got it done against a really good defense in San Francisco last week on the road against a Jets team that plays pretty good defense, can get after your quarterback, can make some things happen, and all of a sudden, Geno Smith and company are scoring points. I'd leave this game alone because it's the right thing to do. I'd leave this game alone because this game is going to leave you alone at home out of your survivor pool if you try to pick a winner. And so that's your Soul Survivor picks for week number 3. It's simple. You got 2 options. Pick one and be done. Hey, the best of the best is New England at home. Use your New England Patriots get out of jail free card right now. Again, use it while supplies last. Hey, these teams, you can't be certain what's going to happen in the future. You might be one of these, hey, I'll just save my Patriots for down the line. You don't know if Tom Brady's in the lineup down the line. You don't know what's going on with the Patriots down the line. All you know is in week number 3, the New England Patriots are going to win. So you should pick them. You want to pick New Orleans? Knock yourself out. But I know for certain, and there are no guarantees in this league, I know the New England Patriots are going to get it done at home versus the Oakland Raiders. Yes, I just contradicted myself, but I'm telling you that the Patriots are going to win this game. Trust me. I wouldn't lead you astray. So, in week number 3, the New England Patriots are your sole survivor! And so, with that being said, we'll take a quick break, come back, and we'll break down some PDS action. Pats, Daps, Smacks.
Social media has taken off in ways that I couldn't have imagined, and thus, I've taken the liberty to start being more active on social media. So like me on Facebook at In the Lab Room, follow me on Twitter at In the Lab Room. You can also +1 me on Google Plus at Louie Tee, and also, of course, my main hub, subscribe to my channel on YouTube. That's youtube.com/In the Lab Room. These are all ways that I'm looking forward to interacting with you, the viewers, in the upcoming season of the Louie Tee Network.
So welcome back. Let's jump into some PDS. I'm sorry, that was just a reflex. All right. In light and in lieu of all of the controversy right now swirling around Adrian Peterson and one Raymond Rice, I thought it was only fitting to scale back on the slaps this week, kind of scale back on the physical violence. We've had so much violence in the media of late. I don't even feel like it's my duty to kind of scale back on the slaps a little bit this week. I mean, don't you feel like that's the right thing to do? Again, I'm a nice guy, man, and I try to do things the right way. So, a lot less smacking, a lot more dapping today, folks. Let's try to keep the slaps down to a minimum. So, today we're going to be a lot happier, more cheerful today, okay? Try to keep things positive. There's been so much negative going on over the last 2 weeks. Let's keep it positive here on PDS, why don't you, okay? So, let's start with some pats on the back. And we start in Houston for head coach Bill O'Brien. Go ahead and pat yourself on the back, man. You've done a wonderful job out of the gate. Remember when you first got this job, and we asked the question, who was your quarterback? Well, you still don't have an answer to that. But Ryan Fitzpatrick has done more than an admirable job early on in this season, keeping everything in order. Now, there was another question. Is Andre Johnson done in Houston? He's been a model citizen. He's playing good football. You're doing a heck of a job balancing out the defense. And the only thing I must say to you right now, I'm only going to warn you one time, because if this continues, you'll find yourself being slapped for this. Scale back the carries for one Arian Foster. Foster, Australian forbid. You need to find a way to give some of these carries to some of these other backs. And he had 29 in week 1 against the Redskins. Maybe that was justified. That was a close ball game. But against the Raiders, when you're bashing their brains in, it's 30-7, and he's still getting carries. Why? Why? Why is he approaching 30 carries for the 2nd consecutive week? That's not smart, Billy. Get it together, Billy. All right? Billy O'Brien. You, my friend, got your team off to a 2-0 start. Got some folks around the league asking, can the Texans go from worst to first? Hey, I'm not buying what you're selling there, but I will say you've gotten off to one heck of a start. Pat yourself on the back. Remember what I said about Arian. Stop overworking that young man. He's not a young man anymore, okay? Stop giving him football 27 times a game. That's a recipe for disaster down the line. So, the next person that gets a nice complimentary pat on the back is one DeMarco Murray. Heck of a game against the Tennessee Titans. 29 carries, 167 yards. Really carried the Dallas Cowboys. It was funny because I watched that game and I said, man, they are hiding Tony Romo. And I said, how did that happen? And the Cowboys said, it's easy. We looked around and we said, hey, where can we put Tony? He's like, I don't know, hurry up quick, the Titans are coming. They said, put him behind DeMarco. They put Tony behind, he was like this. And DeMarco was like, and they didn't even see Tony, man. The Titans didn't even see Tony. You know why they didn't see Tony? Because they let DeMarco Murray punish him on the ground. They didn't force Tony Romo to have to make some throws in this game. They let DeMarco Murray pound them on the ground and grind them into oblivion. Shame on you, Titans. Shameful. But kudos to DeMarco Murray for getting it done when his team needed him. Now, you better stop fumbling. That's the reason why I couldn't dap you up. Because you fumbled in week 1 and you fumbled again in week 2 and you lost both of them. Stop fumbling, young fella. But nonetheless, 29 carries, 167 yards. That's Ullman-like work, my friend. Go ahead and pat yourself on the back. Mohamed Sanu. Did you see Mohamed Sanu slinging the peel for the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Atlanta Falcons in week 2? He just dropped back and he's got one of the longest, one of those Byron Leftwich down by your ankles follow-throughs. But he launched it about 50 yards in the air in double coverage right in the breadbasket of one Brandon Tate. It was a gorgeous throw, and he wasn't done yet. He also caught a 76-yard touchdown on a catch and run from the Red Rifle Andy Dalton. Mohamed Sanu stepped up in the absence of young, fresh, and green, and thus, my man Mohamed Sanu, you go ahead, pat yourself on the back. You go on to the Rams quarterback that got it done in week number 2 versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Austin Davis. His form and throwing motion, it's a little junky, but it gets the job done nonetheless. And he was out there throwing the football around to Brian Quick and some of these Ram receivers. He even incorporated Kenny Brett. Hey, how about that? Austin Davis taking his team down the field, showing some poise and moxie, and really looking unflappable with the game on the line, taking his team down the field and getting a field goal. To you, my man, I say, pat yourself on the back. Job well done, Austin. Job well done. So you move on to some daps. Let's dap some folks up. And there were some people balling out of control in week number 2 of the National Football League. You start with my man. We go way back. OG 85. Antonio Gates. And the reason why he's the OG, the original Gates, the original gangster. The OG can stand for whatever you want it to. Because he was the grandfather. He was the one that started this whole fad of getting athletic tight ends that were ex-basketball players that could come in and change the game at the tight end position. He started that. He's the original gangster. He's the OG. He's the original Gates. There will be no other like him. And just when you thought it was safe to close the book on Antonio Gates, the man comes out and parties like it's 2005. Antonio was giving those boys the old man shimmy shake. Here it is. Oh, I'm going back over this way. Give it to him. Give him the old shimmy shake. Boy, way to get him for 3 touchdowns. Not 1, not 2, but 3 touchdowns. Way to give it to those boys out there in San Diego, Seattle, thinking they're going to come in your house and take a victory. Not with the OG still around busting up linebackers and safeties. Give me some OG. Give me some big time dap for my man, OG 85. The original gangster, the original Gates, Antonio Gates, getting it done in San Diego. That's what I'm talking about. You move on to the next dap. Get some dap to my man, B. Marsh, holding it down in Chi-Town. Hey, give him some, B. Marsh. Give him some, baby. Give him some. Give him 3 of them things, boy. San Francisco didn't know what to do with you. And the bad thing was, you was on one bad wheel out there, slicing and dicing them boys for 3 scores, including a sick one-hand grab. B. Marsh is out there blessing those boys. They don't know what to do, man. Maybe it's the orange gloves blinding them. Maybe it's the orange cleats blinding them. All I know is you out there giving those boys work. And they had a lot of youngins out there, so you had to baptize them. That's what I'm talking about, B. Marsh. That's what I'm talking about. Give it to him, boy. Give it to him. Old school style. That's what I'm talking about, B. Marsh. Giving you some serious love for your performance against the San Francisco 49ers on the road in a 28-20 victory. That's what's up. You move on to the next DAP, and I'm going to just lump 3 teams in together because you got teams out here balling. So they need to be recognized for what they're doing. We start with the Cleveland Browns. You know I got a coach crush on Mike Pettin. I've been talking about Mike Pettin for the last 2 years now. Back to when he was a coordinator with the Bills and how I loved his defensive philosophy. And I said, this guy's going to be a head coach. I didn't know it was going to be this soon. But nonetheless, he has this Browns team believing. Believing in what? I don't know, because they really don't have a quarterback, but Billy Ho is out there slinging the pill. They running the football with Terrence West. Wake up, Mr. West! Mr. West! They got Terrence West running the pill. Isaiah Crowell, Ben Tate is on the shelf. He was running the pill before he got injured. They throwing the football to God knows. Gabriel? Who's Gabriel? They're throwing the ball to Gary Barnidge. They're throwing the ball to whoever they can find. Pull a guy out of the stands, they throw it to him too. Miles Austin, you name it, they're throwing a football to those guys in Cleveland and they're finding ways to put points on the scoreboard. And if you're not careful, they'll jump up and bite you. I love what the Browns are doing, and Mike Pettin has these boys believing. Paul Kruger starting to play out of his mind. The Browns, give them some love, people. Give them some time. You look at the Baltimore Ravens, how soon we forget. Just 2 seasons ago, you were the alpha dog. You were the alpha male in the NFL. You were the Super Bowl champions. Lose a couple of guys in the offseason, don't make the postseason, play on Thursday night and dust off a divisional foe, and we forget so quick about the Baltimore Ravens. Well, I'm here to remind them about what you did last week, how you disrespected the Pittsburgh Steelers. They were supposed to come in and win. They were supposed to come in and be competitive. You went ahead and you squashed all of that, man. Get out of my house with that nonsense, with that hogwash. You garbage. Give it to them, Baltimore. That's what you did, man. Quote the Raven, nevermore. Give me some DAP, Baltimore. Give me some ironclad DAP. And one more team doing their thing in week 2, the Washington Redskins. Let me ask you a question. How many teams around the league can lose their starting quarterback, their best wide receiver, play without their best tight end, and without one of their best defensive linemen, all in the same game, and still win? And not just win, but win by 31 points while putting up a 40-burger. List me the teams that can do that. Well, the Washington Redskins did it. And yeah, the opposition was the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't care. Take Tony Romo and Dez Bryant off the Cowboys. Are they scoring 41 points? Take Jay Cutler and Brandon Marshall out of the equation in Chicago. Are they scoring 41 points? Hell, take Peyton Manning and Demaryius Thomas out of Denver. Are they scoring 41 points? Do the same thing all around the league and you'll consistently find the answer to be no. But yet the Redskins were able to do that. And Ryan Kerrigan had 4 sacks. The team had 10 sacks. They were balling out of control. Balling! They had 41 points. Only gave up 8 rushing yards. The Redskins had it on tilt against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And for that, you get some DAP. So we move on to the next set of guys. And these were 2 guys balling out in respective venues. You might have seen them in a venue near you. Talking about my man Jordy Nelson. Jordy went off for a career day, and he needed every single one of those yards against the Jets, who just all of a sudden showed up and forgot that they were supposed to be blown out in the Packers' home opener. Somebody forgot to give the Jets the memo that the Packers were supposed to win and win big. So Jordy Nelson had to do his best rendition of Sterling Sharp and go off for 9 catches for a career-high 209 yards. That's how you ball out of control when your team needs you the most. Jordy Nelson, give it up for the best wide receiver in the league. Jordy Nelson, get some serious. Down from below. Down. 209. That's how you shine. And you give up some more dap for the mighty might. The mightiest of mites. Darren Sproles. That young fella single-handedly, systematically took apart the Indianapolis Colts on Monday Night Football. Whether he was running a football, whether he was catching a football, whatever it was, he was running away from the Colts. And they couldn't stop Darren Sproles from gashing them, whether it was a screen, whether it was a handoff, whether it was him running an option route or an arrow route, you name it, he did it, and he did it up big, dominating the Indianapolis Colts in every facet of the game offensively. Darren Sproles, you get some power pad dap from me. And so now we go on to a few who need to be slapped. And again, with all of the things going on right now, I tried to keep it to a minimum. Let's play nice this week, okay? So we got 3 teams, and then we got 1 bozo that needs to be slapped around, okay? So let's go ahead and lump these teams in together because each of them, in their own unique way, found a way to find themselves on this list. So let's go ahead and slap them down one by one. We start with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I just talked about the Redskins, and you know how this goes. Normally, if someone else finds their way onto the list, being dapped or patted on the back, that means somebody else had to do something to allow them to get there. And in this case, the Jacksonville Jaguars have to be slapped for giving up 41 points to a backup quarterback, for giving up 41 points and surrendering 10 sacks, for surrendering 4 sacks to one player, for only having 8 rushing yards, for doing all of the things that bad teams do to get blown out by 31 on the road against a backup quarterback. And to make matters worse, if the Jacksonville Jaguars had completed 1 play in this game, I'm not saying the outcome of this game is any different. They probably still don't win. Who's to say? But they don't lose by 31 points and give up a 40-burger. Allen Hurns, who was the star of the first half last week against the Eagles, 4 catches, 110 yards, 2 touchdowns in 1 quarter of work, drops a wide open 70-yard touchdown right out of the gate. He catches that, he walks into the end zone. It's a different ball game. Instead, he drops the football and all hell breaks loose, and the rest is history. For that, the Jacksonville Jaguars, they get a nice down under thunder slap. You move on to the next team, the New York Football Giants, the G-Men. Well, I woke up Sunday morning and I turned on my television set. And I was expecting to see Carson Palmer warming up to take on the New York Giants. What I got was Drew Stanton warming up, taking on the New York Giants. I said, wait a minute, Drew Stanton? What? I said, oh yeah, if you're the Giants, you got to take advantage of this. And the Giants did not. They fell right on their face. They fumbled the football multiple times. They dropped the football. Eli Manning threw another 2 interceptions. And they created ways. Gave up a 70-yard punt return to Ted Ginn Jr. They created ways to lose this game. These guys right now just don't get it. And when you don't get it, and you're performing senselessly, let me slap some sense into you. Take that backhand, New York. Right now, hopefully that woke you up because you are sleeping behind the wheel. Next team up on the docket, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Last week I said to the Buccaneers, I said, Tampa Bay, in week 1, you lost to a backup. I said in week 2, I guess in week 1, having a backup wasn't good enough. So I'm going to do you an extra solid here. What I'm going to do is not only am I going to allow you to play your second consecutive home game against a backup quarterback, I guess that wasn't good enough. I'm going to put you at home against a third-string quarterback. Let's see how you like that. Try that one out for size, why don't you? And they said, oh man, Lou, you shouldn't have done that, man. I don't know how to repay you. I said, hey, don't worry about it. You don't have to repay me with anything but a W. That's all I want. I picked you on my sheet. I expect you to win. Just do me a solid and just win. I'm not asking for any other repayment. Just win the game. They say, hey man, no problem. We got you. Except you don't got me. You don't got Austin Davis. You don't have the St. Louis Rams. Josh McCown is still throwing interceptions. You're fumbling footballs. Mike Evans gets hit at the end of the game. Can't get off the field. It shouldn't have even come to that. Don't try to blame Mike Evans for this loss. It shouldn't have been 17-19 at the end of the game with a third-string quarterback. That is despicable. And for that, you get slapped 2, 3, 4 times. Get out of my face, you garbage bastards. I can't believe how bad you're playing football right now. And you got a nerve to want to show up on my television on Thursday night with that nonsense. Despicable. You're dismissed. Get out of here. And finally, the bozo clown of the week, James Jones. Have you had a chance to see if there was football follies anymore? Remember that show? If there were any more football follies, this would be on it. James Jones. First of all, the Raiders looked pathetic on Sunday against the Houston Texans, but no play personified this Raiders performance more so than James Jones and his fumble-rooski. All right. So James Jones catches the football on the sideline and he's being dragged out of bounds. As he's going out of bounds, boop-ski, the football comes out. Okay. Cookies! Yum, yum, eat them up. Yum, yum, eat them up. So, cookies on the ground. Guess what? He's the closest one to the football. He realizes, uh-oh, I spilled my cookies. I should pick them up. I still got milk left. I need to dunk my cookies in the milk. So he picks his cookies up off the floor, and he starts running to the end zone. I'm like, he might actually score off of it. So he picks the ball up, and he starts running towards the end zone. And he can see the end zone. His eyes are getting bigger. All of a sudden, another Houston Texans player comes and tackles him. And don't you think you would say, hey, I haven't finished dunking my cookies in my milk yet. I need to hold on to my cookies. No, he doesn't say that. He says, oh, my cookies, where have they gone? They're on the ground again. He fumbles the football for a second time on the same play. Who does that? Where they do that at? I don't know. Obviously, they do it in Oakland. And so, he not only fumbles once, he fumbles twice at the 1-yard line. Unbelievable. I can't believe it. Ay, ay, ay. And for that 2-pack, you get 2 smacks, James Jones. Unbelievable. You absolutely get the Clown of the Week award for that and your shenanigans in Oakland's 30-14 loss on Sunday. Whew, that was terrible. So, that's going to do it for this installment of PDS. We'll take another short break, come back, and wrap this episode on up.
Can't get enough of me, Louie Tee? Or does your heart pump burgundy and gold blood? If so, either way, join me Tuesdays and Fridays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Redskins Report. It's all things Redskins. So whether you join me or not, we're going to have a blast talking about the burgundy and gold. It's the Redskins Report here on the Louie Tee Network.
So let's quickly tack on a quick extra point and get out of here. This is my last time talking about this issue because I don't feel like it warrants any more attention. Really feel like it's been overblown as is. But Adrian Peterson went and met with Minnesota Viking officials yesterday, and they determined that he should be paid but not with the team any longer. He's a distraction right now, and so he's on a paid leave, essentially. He's not necessarily suspended, more like a leave of absence with pay. So he's agreed to exit stage left for a little while, let everything kind of simmer down while he's still being paid, to take the distraction away from this Minnesota Vikings team, because if he shows up to a game, you're going to get protesters, you're going to get extra cameras following them around, asking them about their decision to activate him. Even if he didn't set foot on the field, if he's in attendance, if he's on the roster, they're going to have a problem with him. If he's on the active roster, that is, they're going to have a problem with that. And so to avoid all of that right now, because the block is so hot right now, the block is on fire this time around, Styles. So in order to alleviate some of that pressure, they said, hey, we're going to allow you to leave. You will still pay you. Basically, we're paying you to go away. Sit down for a little while. We'll call you when this thing settles down. And so I don't have a problem with that. I understand the logistics of this and how they want this situation to basically die down. The only issue I have with Adrian Peterson, because I really don't know how substantial, we've seen the pictures. I don't feel like it was that egregious, okay? Yeah, it's a kid, and yes, he went a little overboard with a couple of the scratches. My only problem with Adrian is, hey, look, dude, you can't hit me in my testicles, man. I need those. I'm 4 years old. First of all, that's a really small strike zone right there. How is it? And I know everybody's been hit before or seen someone do the dance. You got them by one hand, and you hit them that first time, and they do the little dance. So yeah, after that little dance commences, every body part is legal after that, because you know the kid is flailing all over the place and he's dancing like he's got hot coals under his feet. And so yeah, if you're just swinging and you're not really paying attention, you can hit anywhere. But not my testicles, man. Please get off the testicles and the nutsack. Please leave those alone. I need those. You know what I mean? I don't want to be 28 and shooting blanks because my dad hit me in my left nutsack when I was 4. That's a problem I have. Is you can't, look, you can hit me on my back, my leg. Hey, you can even hit me on my arm, man. Stay clear of the face and leave my testicles alone. That's all I'm asking for. So that's my biggest issue with AD, is that, hey man, you gotta watch where you're swinging that stick, dude. You gotta watch where you're swinging it, man. But other than that, he'll go away for a little while. This thing will blow over, and next thing you know, he'll be back rushing for touchdowns, and half of you guys will forget he was even suspended for this. So I've heard the Vikings also say that they are entertaining potentially trading him. I don't know how smart that is. I don't know how believable that is. I don't know if the source giving that information up actually talked directly to the Vikings and acquired that knowledge. But if the Vikings are even entertaining trading him, that's not a smart move, because as you can see, life without Adrian Peterson isn't good for you. And trust me, if you allow Adrian Peterson to hit the street, 31 other teams will go sniffing around Adrian Peterson, okay? Everybody will be interested because this guy can help you win. It's not like he went out and raped somebody or he attempted murder or anything like that. It's not like he beat up his wife. He beat his child. And yes, he went overboard, but who am I, like I said before, to tell you how to rear your child? And so I'm done with that. I'm done with that whole topic. I'm not talking about it again unless something else happens there. If it stays status quo, I am done with that situation. And so that means I am done with this installment of In the Lab Room. I thank you for joining me. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the Lab Room. I thank you for joining me. Come back and join me tomorrow, Thursday, when we start to preview Thursday Night Football, as well as go through our Q&A session, supply and demand. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.